All right, it's your buddy Mike Messier, and some morning thoughts for you. You know, today is, I think it's June 20th, June 21st, 2018, and the big news story of the day is this ICE children being separated from their families. And it's very, sad and traumatic for the kids, obviously, the families that are going through this ordeal. And it's very sad and traumatic for people to even see this. And good people, obviously think about their own families, their own kids, their own parents being separated, and the trauma, and they have empathy and sympathy. And even see some politicians, even Rhode Island's own David Cicilline, going out and trying to do something, trying to get footage, trying to make something change. But then, I'm driving home, and I actually was out all night writing and doing my schmaltz at a 24-hour donut place. Just kind of my laptop blaring, the earphones in. Conflicting audio issues because the donut place had like the TV blaring, playing the same news story every half hour, which is probably why I got this in my fucking head all night. The people working the donut place are playing their own damn music, and I got earphones in, so I got three sources of music at once, or three sources of noise at once. But that's beyond the point. The point is that this story of these separated children and their families, everyone's getting worked up about it, as well as they should. But as I'm driving home in the middle of the morn, what I'm hearing on the FM radio, the classic rock station that has all these morning DJs, and they're all fucking talking and bullshit, is they kind of have a parody skit already. They have like a comedy skit kind of making fun of this situation already, and comedy, as we know, is timing. So this radio station is trying to cash in and be edgy and make this little parody skit, which they probably cranked out in 10 minutes and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, is this something that people give a shit about? Is it just, meaning the skit, I guess. I'd like to think about what's the tipping point for bad taste. Do people care? I mean, in my region of New England, people are pretty, they don't give a shit about stuff that might be insensitive. We're just used to it, so we don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking, it's not whether or not this comedy is offensive to me or to anybody. It's just, once something's being parodized, it's being accepted. Once you get to the point where you can just make a joke about it, McDonald's puts horse meat in your hamburger, ah ha ha, nay nay, or hey, enjoy that razor blade in your trick-or-treat apple. You know what I mean? When you go Halloween trick-or-treating, or don't sleep over at OJ's house, he might slit your neck. Or, don't date Mike Tyson. All these things that we take as jokes. Don't go to the amusement park in Michael Jackson's backyard. Or, don't bake cookies with Hitler. Whatever you want to think of as a humorous joke. Don't go to vacation in the United States of America with your family. I mean, whatever you think of as a comedy joke, once you've hit the point of parody, once you've hit the point of ridicule or making fun of, we've accepted it. You've accepted it. Now it's just a thing where, keep your kids at home. Once you've gotten to that point, you've kind of lost. Because that's when, if the emotions of the joke teller, whether it's me or these fuckers on the radio station or anybody else, once you've gotten to that point of just making light of it, it's because it's so fucking unbearable to even think about it that you have to make light of it. To even exist, to even fucking breathe air, you have to make fun of the god-awful, horrendous situation up front. Now look at me. Look where I am. You see this beautiful view of my neighborhood. You obviously see that I'm miles away from cages with children in them, or fucking blankets, or ICE workers. So I could just kind of live in my own goddamn closed-eye cave and not worry about world events and not give a flying fuck about anybody but myself and my own existence. my own life, if that's what you want to call this. But I'm a caring individual. I give a flying fuck. So, I'm not sure if I really have a call of action or a fucking point to any of this. It's just to say, you know, when I heard that humor on the radio, and like I said, timing is everything with comedy. I was like, wow, that's pretty soon. You know, not that they, sure, they're allowed to make fun, and they're not ridiculing the children by any means. It's more of a self, you know, parody of the situation from this radio station. But it just made me realize, you know, once you've gotten to that point of parody, you realize that people just aren't going to do any fucking thing. I guess that was my other point was, you know, people are going to get upset, and people are going to Facebook and fucking put memes and all types of stuff and have little debates on Facebook and Twitter and all this shit. But the reality is, that's good, that is good, but what's the real, I don't have any solution, I'm just curious or wondering, what, if anything, is the real solution to all this madness? United States pulling out of this peace council, you know, all these things that people are upset about, people are angry about, and then other people say, well, don't be upset, don't be angry. So I don't know the solution, I certainly don't, but I'm just pontificating that, you know, people, anger is a great motivating factor for action, but we live in a society now that I call it the, you know, happy face emoji society. Well, you know, these children are being separated from their parents, but happy face, maybe they'll see them again. Or happy face, they're better off now than they were before because they're getting 3 square meals a day and brushing their teeth. That's what one person said. You know, happy face emoji, it ain't us. You know, that's the biggest happy face emoji. When it comes down to it, the biggest happy face emoji you can put on anything is, that really fucking does suck, but it's not me. You know, that's the bottom line for just about anything. And that's pretty much what keeps the machine going the way it is. You know, because once you can kind of separate yourself at the end of the fucking night, if you can put your head on the pillow and not be the person who's suffering, then you're doing all right. And that's kind of a basic survival skill, isn't it? So, just some thoughts, no solutions, no great fucking insight, just a little, you know, and people tell me, and they're fucking assholes too, oh Mike, you're being cynical, oh Mike, you're being depressing, oh Mike, blah, blah, blah. Well, fuck off. Because the reality is, when I see these things happen in this goddamn world, you'd be a fucking moron and a fucking loser not to be a little upset or pissed off or depressed. Why wouldn't you be? You know, so this country, this world that wants to medicate every goddamn emotion that we have. And there was an old expression, I think from the 60s, if you wake up smiling, you're a fucking idiot. You know, well, actually, it wasn't an expression from the 60s. I made that up. If you wake up smiling, you're a fucking idiot. But maybe that'll be the name of this video, or maybe something better. But the basic point is, yeah, if you wake up smiling, you're a fucking idiot. Because it was actually something a little bit kinder. It was more like, you know, if you're not angry, you're oblivious. If you're not upset, if you're not pissed off, you're a fucking douchebag or whatever the fuck. But basically, if you wake up smiling, you're a fucking idiot. Because, you know, the world just has so many fucking things to be pissed about. Why wouldn't you be pissed off? So, like I said, I don't have solutions for you. And this is not a examination or a fucking decree on anybody or anybody's politics. I guess really what I was trying to get at, which I keep kind of getting away from, is what are people going to do about it? You know, like we can all be kind of pissy and shitty and fucky and ducky about every goddamn thing, which is all well and good. But is anybody actually going to do any fucking thing? And what would that thing be to do? And you know what I mean? I mean, the goddamn governor of Rhode Island or whatever the fuck, she's like, oh, well, we're not going to support this. We're not going to send troops for this. Nobody asked her to. It's like we don't have a lot of troops to send. So, I mean, it's easy enough for her to make some decree. Meanwhile, she's spending $1 million on a ridiculous ad campaign for our state that was rejected by the populace. So that's a whole other goddamn story. And we're just worrying about our baseball team. So at the end of the day, people are just going to wonder, you know, with all these political ramifications, the real question of the day is, where's LeBron James going to play basketball next season?